Screensavers. I'm Kate Patello.
And I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so very much for joining us. Coming up in today's show, I'm going to speak with web groundbreaker Lou Montulli about his work with Links, Netscape. He was employee number 9. The future of browsers is his new company, ePinion, which lets you choose products based on what other people think.
Right, and of course you want to ask about the really important stuff, like how it feels to be People Magazine's sexiest internet CEO.
Okay, we'll ask him that.
Right.
He is, too. What do you mean?
All you tech chicks, tune in. We're going to talk about hackers, what they do, why they do it, why you care, why you don't.
Down to the roots of his boots. Then later, Jim Latterback has a report from the recently completed electronics computed. Can we start this show over?
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Screensavers on Kate Patello.
I'm Leo Laporte, and coming up with Lou Montulli. And then Jim Latterback with a report from the recently completed Consumer Electronics Show. You wrote that, didn't you? Making me say that. Today, he takes us to the future of home networking on today's Fresh Air.
All right, before we check out the topic in the chat room for today, now see, chat topic. That's the word I cannot say.
Topic. I can't say that either.
The topic. The topic today.
What's the topic?
Okay, well, let's check out the final results, actually. The last poll.
Is AMD making a mistake?
Barring people from overclocking, 79% of you say yes. There you go. And, of course, AMD's own editorial comes out, of course, saying, hey, they're not talking about just overclocking. They're talking about presenting themselves as authorized resellers when they're not.
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Today,
in the chat room, will you take the hacker pledge? Now, this is what we're going to talk about.
What?
A little later on, somebody's going to ask, we're going to talk about, it's an email question, what hackers do. Now, when we say hackers, and when he say hackers, I think he probably means crackers, people who illicitly break into computers and try to do stuff. Okay?
Not hackers, clever people who dig around just to find information just because they can.
Anybody who messes with computers is a hacker in my book. Hacking means simply that you're trying to mess with the computer, playing with it, as you said, doing stuff it's never been done before. That's a great part of learning how to program, about programming, of learning how to use computers. So hacking, I think, is normal. What we're going to do, when do you want to do the hacker pledge? Should we do that a little later on? Because what we're going to do is we're going to tell you what the hacker pledge is. If you go to our website, you'll see it right now.
Right.
And what we want to, I guess the premise of all this, from my point of view, is everybody hacks. Everybody tries to get in places they shouldn't. In my day, before computers in college,
when we had to walk uphill both ways, barefoot in the snow. I'm sorry.
It was all about getting into the caves where the professors lived. No, it was all about the steam tunnels, and you would try to break the locks and get into the steam tunnels, not to do damage, not to do harm, but just for the sake of exploration.
Just so you could say you got into the steam tunnel.
And that is normal, that is appropriate, that's how people learn, and so that kind of hacking, I think, is great. So we've got a pledge that we would like people who want to do that kind of hacking to take to kind of ensure that you're doing the right thing.
That's right. We just want you to hack with love.
Responsibly.
Yes, hack responsibly.
So take a look at the hacker pledge. Give us your vote.
Take the web poll, screensavers.com, and while you're there, tell us what kind of good hacks that you do. What kind of hacking do you do?
What kind of hacking? I've done a lot of hacking in my time.
Hey, I used to learn how to, I've hacked a cell phone with a paper clip and a chewing gum wrapper when you had to reboot it.
I'm a MacGyver of you.
Thank you very much.
That's good.
That's right.
You can also telephone us, use some chewing gum and a paper clip to dial 888-989-7879 or chat with us, chat.zdnet.com.
Only that one takes toothpaste.
Click on the screensavers room if you want to get in there.
Now, if you have a Netcam, you want your beautiful face to be on television, just click on the Netcam Cineplex because, I mean, it's like Brad and Shannon in there. Hello. Look, and Kevin, the new intern in the Burger King cap. Congratulations
he's actually,
on your hazing.
I think he's enjoying it.
The new King Kevin. You are the happiest intern in that hat we've ever had.
That's scary.
All right, welcome to the family. Kevin's a hacker, and Shannon says, hack on, baby.
Hack on.
All right.
Hacking doesn't require computers. There's all kinds of hacking, and there's hacking in every. If you improvise music, what are you doing? You're hacking.
You're hacking. No, man, it's jazz. You know,
jazz is hacking.
It's just jazz. It's a hack. It's
Hackers are playing jazz on the computer. That's all that is.
And you know,
if you get on the Netcam, this is what you get.
You get the fabulous magnet, as seen on our fridge, soon to be seen on yours. There's
the
Ken
dude.
Marcus.
Ken the dude, Marcus.
Ken the dude, Marcus. Dude, you're looking totally cute in your hat on the fridge, dude.
Brian joins us on the ZDTV3Com Netcam network from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian. Hi. Hey, Brian, can you help me out for a second? I feel so bad. Yesterday, I forgot to toss this magnet.
Let's do a double toss.
And so so Leo and I are each going to toss one, so you have to catch two, okay? One.
Wait, there's two people there.
Two. What?
What? What would be a good response?
What?
Who's that behind you, Brian?
That's my sister.
Hi, sis.
Hey, you missed the magnet there, sis.
Here.
Oh,
What's your sister's name?
Laura?
She's pushing you out of the way, isn't she?
She's like, move over, man. I want to ask my question. So do you have a question?
What?
Do you have a question for us, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have Quake 2 and Quake 3.
Awesome. Dude.
But, my friend just has Quake 2, and...
Bummer. Dude.
We want to play a multiplayer game, but...
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
He doesn't have he has AOL, and we can't get an IP address with him.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Then I hear about this a lot.
Here's what you do.
Tell him.
You will have run Quake 2, and you be the server, okay? Because you're on a regular internet service provider.
I have the cable modem.
Yeah, you be the server. You should be anyway. He shouldn't be the server.
No.
And he'll enter in your IP address, not you entering in his, okay? So you know your IP address. You become the server. It's just when you set up Quake 2 and you says, I am going to serve a Quake match, then you don't need to know his internet address. You just need to know your internet address. Actually, you don't even need to know that. You just set it up and run it. Then he needs to know your internet address so that he can
connect.
Well,
my address is...
He should be able to. He should start. He has to be using AOL 4 or 5, newer version of AOL.
Okay.
I think 3 might have done this, but certainly 4 or 5 do.
Yeah.
You minimize AOL, and he now has an internet connection with an actual internet address.
Then he
should be able to play. Now, there's other problems because he's going to be using the AOL servers, which are terrible for gaming.
So the ping has got to be lousy.
It's going to be terrible. So you might... he might get better results if you both, for instance, played a game on something like the Microsoft Gaming Zone at thezone.com, where they're the server and you log into their server. And why do I say that? Well, because you should look for one that works best with AOL. They may have better connections to the AOL servers than you do. You know, you're just out there in the real world. What I would look for is a gaming server site that has a relationship with America Online. You know what? If there's somebody who is an AOL gamer who's playing internet games, is there anybody out there who's doing that with AOL? Most of the time we say you should get a real internet service provider. But if there's anybody who's doing that with AOL, if you can tell us how you do it, what servers work the best, you know, what is it, Heat.net, or is it Blizzard, or is it the Microsoft's Gaming Zone? Where is it that you find the best results if you're on America Online and gaming? Let us know, and then we'll put that in the show notes for you. Okay, Brian?
Okay.
And let you know, because that is a tough one, you know. And you're probably just playing Quake 2, no problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you play with other people, it's great because you got a cable modem.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing with a cable modem, by the way. You always get the best ping times with other people who are on the same kinds of servers or geographically close.
Sure.
Ping time is very critical in games like this. That means the response time from your server to theirs, because when you shoot somebody, you want them to fall down immediately.
Sure. Otherwise, you shoot, and while you're still waiting for your latency to get through, the bullet hits you, you've been fragged 5 times over.
Yeah, exactly.
Lame.
It's not fun at all.
You don't like that at all.
So you always check the best ping time. Hey, thank you, Brian. We'll see if we can do something for you, okay?
Okay.
Read our show notes after the show.
Brian, what's your Quake name?
I really don't have a permanent Quake name. I just make one up whenever.
All right, well, look for Dev Null or...
Frag Queen.
You're Frag Queen? All right, that's the names we use out there, all right?
Okay.
Take care, Brian.
Bye, Brian.
Sometimes if I'm in a mood, I won't use Dev Null, I'll use Nev Doll.
Oh, you rebel.
Oh, I'm such a rebel.
Rebel. After the break, clear off your hard drives, folks. It's time for this week's top downloads full of surprises when the screensavers continue. Courtesy of the ZDNet Software Library, presenting this week's top downloads, chock full of surprises. And at number 5, WinZip for Windows 95, 98, or NT.
Actually, that's the new
8.0 beta, so
brand new
this
version.
is cool.
That's a nice new feature.
Number 4 spot, the traditional WinZip 32-bit version.
Wow.
Back on the charts in 3rd place, ICQ 32-bit version. Holding steady as the runner-up, the ever-popular Paint Shop Pro. And should Paint Shop Pro be unable to fulfill its duties filling in, Godzilla for the 4th consecutive week.
Is that the 8-bit, 16-bit, or 32-bit version?
Heck if I know.
Who cares?
Godzilla, go. Download all these programs from the ZDNet Software Library.
Download some different programs
for
so we
crying
can have
out
some new
loud.
ones on the list next week. Kevin joins us on the phone from Chicago, Illinois. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you, Kate and Leo?
We are very well.
Wonderful. What can we do for you?
I was just wondering how Windows 2000 does with dual processing.
Should be doing really well.
No, it's actually disappointing, frankly.
Why? Now, you said it was all buttery softness, great.
No, I did not. I have a dual processor system, dual Celerons, overclocked to 528 or some silly number. And I'll tell you, the number one operating system for multiprocessors is BOS.
Goodbye.
Because it's made for it. Oops, AOL. Well, fine.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to you too, buddy.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a picture of the computer. It's talking. Good. Very good.
Okay, so, Jason.
This is what I was hoping for when I said I want to do a computer TV show. So, number one, BOS, and the reason BOS does such a good job is it's written from the ground up to be multitasking. All when you write a program in BOS, the libraries are what we call multi-threaded, which means they're designed the program's designed by default to handle multiple threads, and that's what's key, by the way, in using multiple processors.
So you have to get something that does that well.
Next best is Linux, which does a pretty darn good job. The kernel is now SMP compliant and really handles it very well, and many Linux applications are multi-threaded. Not all, but many. Windows is another story. Windows 2000 is a multi-threaded operating system. That means the operating system, when it sees multiple tasks, will hand them off. You know, it's basically a traffic controller saying, okay, you do that, processor 1, you do that, processor 2. There it is. Is it talking again?
It's moving. That robot wasn't there before.
Man, this is exciting
weird,
TV.
you guys.
So,
okay, Linux, SMP, Windows 2K
Windows 2K, it does that traffic control thing, but most Windows applications are not multi-threaded. Here, I'll give you the real bottom line on it. Using WinBench, which is the ZDNet's benchmark programs, on Windows 2000 on my system, actually, let's start with Windows 98 on my system, which means it's only using one of the two processors, because Windows 98 is not multiprocessor aware. It gets a score, WinBench score, of about 23 or 24. Okay. When I ran it on Windows 2000, now in theory, this is going to take advantage of the multiple processors, it was about 26.
So you got a whopping...
It's less than 10% difference. Now that's pretty much what you see in general on Windows NT, and I guess it's true of Windows 2000 on these multiprocessor systems. I don't know if it's because the OS isn't doing a good job with the threading. I don't think it is, because if I look at the processor graphs, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job of handing them off. You know, if you've got two tasks going on at once, it does a good job of sharing those. I think probably it's that most of the applications aren't multi-threaded, and so they don't take advantage of it.
It's not optimized for it.
Does that make sense to you, Kevin?
Yes, it does.
You got to have, there's two parts to getting an operating system using two or more processors. The operating system has to understand them and do the traffic control arrangement. Most importantly, though, the programs have to also divide the tasks that they do up into multiple threads. You know, when Tim Sweeney was here, the guy who wrote Unreal, I asked him, you know, Quake 3 supposedly, we don't see any evidence of this, but supposedly Quake 3 is multi-threaded. Why didn't you multi-thread the code in Unreal? He says, you know what, if you start unmulti-threaded, if you start single-threaded, it's really complicated to go back. You got to rewrite the whole program, basically.
So that it can go back and send
off. Divide it into threads.
Okay.
So unless the operating system and the development tools are all multi-threaded oriented like BOS is, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of benefit. So I'm disappointed. I mean, Windows 2K, now what's good is when I'm running Outlook 2000, which is a main processor drain. I mean, that thing will kill any processor. I can still browse because one processor is doing Outlook 2000, one processor is browsing. So in that sense, you do get the benefit.
Now, we do have Win 2000 and dual processors running on a home base machine, and that's pretty much fine, right?
That's a single processor system. Oh!
Oops, I guess not.
I get it. I'm sorry.
Thank you. We'll be here all week.
I ruined the joke. Or
hilarity ensues.
Coming up next, where are we headed? Were you planning that while I was talking?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Glad you were.
No, I don't.
Where are we headed with the future of browsers? We're going to talk to the man who created one of the very first browsers, Lou Montulli, Netscape employee number 9. Number 9? Number 9? And the sexiest man on the internet when the screensavers continues. Oh, he really looks like he's enjoying that. Screensavers.com. the best place for more information about what's on this show, whether it's building your own ultimate gaming machine or just making music with your PC. Click on Show and Tell, and remember, you'll find it all at thescreensavers.com. Our next guest was one of the founding engineers at Netscape, as I mentioned, employee number 9. He created the first voyeur cam, and believe it or not, according to People magazine, this is in the November '99 issue, with Richard Gere on the cover, was voted the sexiest internet mogul. There's Lou. Oh, he's looking fine. Lou Montoli, Director of Server Engineering at ePinions.com. Welcome. It's great to have you on the Screensavers.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So you were at the University of Kansas, right?
Indeed, yeah.
And you wrote Lynx.
Yeah, I kind of fell into that.
Tell me about that. Lynx is still around, by the way. In fact, we're on the Lynx site at lynx.browser.org, LYNX. It is a text-based browser, still around, runs on every platform, comes with every distribution of Linux, and is used by a lot of people who just want text. They want to get the information fast.
Yeah, well, it seems like forever ago, but...
it wasn't that long ago. Was it 10 years?
It's 10 years. With a lot of hours between then and now.
What was the idea?
Well, I had seen Gopher, which was really the rage back in...
It was a menu-based...
it was like 1990, 1991.
Right.
And then I had seen this hypertext product, and I hadn't seen a lot of computer stuff. I wasn't really super involved in the computer field, but I saw these two things, and they just seemed like they should go together, and there was this project going on, and I was in this kind of boring consulting job, and so I just kind of read the C book and started splicing the two together.
You hadn't done much programming before that?
Not really. I'd done a little in high school with some Pascal, and then I'm talking serious programming with C. And
although, the original Lynx was probably not that complicated. I mean, it's not too difficult.
Originally, it was a lot more simple than what the web is today, right? It was go over the network, grab a document, and format it, and the formatting was a lot more simple.
Right.
Originally it was all text.
Right.
Actually, there was no images in the original web.
Right.
And it's quite a bit different now.
You had Flash and multimedia and all that, but pretty soon
JavaScript.
Yeah, it's a much more complicated tool that you're writing. It's really almost an operating system.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, tell me about how you got involved in Netscape.
Well, Mark Andreessen came out to California.
He wrote Mosaic at the University of Illinois.
Exactly. He and Eric Bina.
Right.
And he came out to California, and Jim Clark had recently left SGI and was looking for another company to start up, and Jim and Mark came together, and then they brought together all the people who had really had a substantial impact on the web, everybody they could, and said, let's start a company.
Now, the web was around, but it wasn't widely used. Mosaic, I remember, frankly, Lynx was the first browser I ever used, and I looked at it and I said, I don't get this web thing. It doesn't make any sense. Let's go back to Gopher. Mosaic made a big difference because suddenly there were pictures, but it still hadn't taken off in popularity.
Right.
Well, here you are at Netscape, the 9th employee. Did you have any idea of what you were about to unleash?
Well, actually, we had our heads pumped quite high because Jim Clark is he's an amazing salesman. We used to say he would go around, these are not the droids you're looking for, and everyone would believe it. Right? And he told us that we were going to change the world. We were just going to do fantastic. All we had to do was work 24 hours a day for a couple of years.
And did you?
Yeah, it seems like it. We slept occasionally, but we were at the office all the time.
Jim wasn't far wrong, though. That's the amazing.
We surpassed all of the things he dreamt about, and it's just amazing. It's just changed everything. I remember when I saw the first URL on a billboard. It was here in Silicon Valley.
.com.
Yeah, it was a .com, and I was so excited. Now I can't go anywhere without seeing them on every television program. They're everywhere.
And it really has been instantaneous.
Yeah.
It's just a complete transformation.
It's pretty amazing.
Well, let's move on a little bit in history. I guess, of course, the big date for Netscape, and probably a big date in your memory, was the day Netscape went public. And at that time, the internet bubble hadn't begun. I mean, nobody knew, and the idea of going public as such a young company was unheard of.
Yeah.
And yet the stock just. Woo.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly been a financial success, but to me that wasn't really the big day. I mean, the really big day was when we released the first browser that really made it possible for people at home to surf the web, and it was just a really revolutionary product at the time.
Was it 1.0?
It was the first real memorable day was when we released .09.
I remember .09.
And we released it on the web, and we stayed up all night. Yeah. We were just watching downloads come down off the server, and we had these sounds coming off, and we just had this great big party, and then the email started flooding in. It was really amazing to touch so many people because everyone really enjoyed it. That's the real impact that Netscape had. Money comes and goes, but I think the impact that Netscape had is going to be felt forever.
Good for you. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's really what happened. It did change the world. You have moved on. By the way, I just want to show you a picture, folks, of Lou, the sexiest man in the internet now. But at one time, what's the story there?
Well, I'm still a true nerd. This is actually at a giant Van de Graaff generator, one of the largest ones in the world. It's really big, and you put your hand on your hair, it just goes crazy. And it's a little long. It was a great picture.
I love it. Let's move on to your new project. This is ePinions. I actually think this is quite a good idea. Now, we've used shopping bots. We talk about them all the time. Things like MySimon or PriceWatch.com, where you can search the web for the best price on a product. But you're doing something a little different with ePinions.
Yeah, well, after Netscape, I kind of went searching for the next big thing.
You could have retired, right?
Well, I could have retired. I tried to for a little while. I was traveling. And
I've often wondered. So let's step back. I want to hear this. So you don't need to work anymore.
Yeah.
You traveled. What happened? Why didn't you stay?
I found I couldn't get away from the web. I went and traveled all over South America, and it turns out you can't really make a phone call, but you can get on the web anywhere. All the street corners have internet cafes. It's much easier to send an email than to make a phone call. It's kind of an amazing thing. It's everywhere. It changed the way people travel. It changed the way people communicate.
Did you miss kind of being part of that?
I did. I started to get antsy. I wanted to work on things again. I was looking for the next big thing, and really what happened is at Netscape we built the platform. We built this thing that you can now build new tools on. And so the next logical thing was to go build the best tool I could think of, which was, how do you research things? How do you go find out information? It's a real big problem. A lot of times people will go onto Usenet, but Usenet's very cluttered by spam and advertisements. And
stuff. I search Deja.com and I find what I want, but you're right. There's a lot of signal noise is not great there.
Yeah, so I was very lucky to come together with some other internet veterans from Yahoo and Excite, and I had this great idea to do what is now ePinions, which is a site for consumers to share information about products and services, and eventually almost anything, in a way that is very structured and easy to find data. And it's a very, very personalized service. What you can do is you can read what one person says, and if you agree with what they say, you can say, I trust this person. Right? And from then on, anytime that they've written something about something else you're researching, what they've written will come up to the top, and also the people that they trust will bubble up to the top. So you're not just seeing random people's opinions, because you wouldn't go ask somebody on the street corner what kind of car to buy.
No. But eventually people are pushed up as they're more trusted by more people.
Exactly.
And they become the experts.
Right. And you can read all about the people writing the opinions. There's pictures. Here's your
featured reviewer, Catherine Hubbard.
There's pictures, and they write about themselves. They write the things they like, the things they don't like. So you can choose to agree or disagree with their opinions. You have much greater context around what you're
Interesting.
reading.
Not just products. Here's an MP3 search engine. You're going to do colleges and universities.
Right.
This could extend to anything.
Absolutely.
If people want to know more.
Yeah, that's the key.
It's a neat idea.
It's a very cool idea.
Well, Lou, it's great to meet you. Good job.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing where ePinions goes, and congratulations on being the sexiest internet mogul in the world. It's great to have you. Lou Montulli is the Director of Server Engineering at ePinions.com. If you want to ask Lou your own questions, we're going to put them in the chat room. Yes, sirree, chat.zdnet.com. And for more information about the early days of browsers and how Lou got involved in this amazing revolution, you'll find it at thescreensavers.com. All right. Don't start flipping, folks. Still to come on this very show. What hackers do and why they do it. Plus, we'll give you the Hacker Pledge. We're going to try to make it easier to use your favorite toy, the computer. Plus, what's new in home networking from the Consumer Electronics Show. All that and more as the Screensavers rolls on.
Screensavers. I'm Kate Patello.
And I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you for joining us. Today in the chat room, will you take the Hacker Pledge? We're actually going to make you take it. Well, you don't have to.
You don't have to. I'll tell you what. I am going to take the Hacker Pledge.
Okay.
I like to tweak with things. I like to make them where I am, in fact, a hacker. I'm not like the programming type of hacker that checks out, where can I get into security-wise on the machine, but that isn't just what hacking is about.
Everybody's a hacker in some area. If you have ever taken apart a television remote control to see how it works, you are a hacker. Have you done that?
I've taken apart all kinds of stuff to see how
If you've ever souped up a car to make it go faster, if you've ever, the idea of hacking is taking something and trying to figure out how it works works and go beyond what it's capable of doing now. That's hacking. That's all it is. And doing it with a computer, doing it in jazz, doing it with your remote control, it's all hacking. But we think that for safety, out of respect for others, there should be some rules, and that's the Hacker Pledge.
We're going to ask you to hack with love. But take our web poll at thescreensavers.com, and while you're there, tell us what some of your favorite hacks are. Yeah, I did see a recent hacking journal that had the maps to all the Disneyland tunnels.
That was fun. I read that, yeah.
That was awesome.
That was in 2600.
Make sure you go to the character zoo and try on all the heads, but there's one there. There's always security right there, so you have to be careful.
Yeah. You can also, this little hacking tip from Kate. You can also chat with us at chat.zdnet.com.
All right, let's take a call from Jonathan now, who's joining us on the ZDTV3COM Cam Network from Kingsley, Michigan. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Kate and Leo.
How you doing?
Hi.
I'm doing good.
What's up?
Right.
Well, on my system, I've got a home network.
Okay.
And I'm running Windows 98 and wanting to upgrade to Windows NT. And wondering if it would be better which version of workstation or server to use on the machine that goes to the internet.
You're going to go to 2000, right? You're not going to do NT4.
Yeah, don't do NT4.
Right. 2000.
Yeah, 2000 will be out February 17th. I would probably, unless you're going to run a server, like a web server or an FTP server of some kind, I probably would just use Windows 2000 Professional, which is the desktop. It's what NT Workstation used to be.
Because you still share.
There's now Windows 2000 Professional, Windows 2000 Server, Windows 2000 Advanced Server, and then there's going to be a fourth version, I can't remember what it's called, for very high-end corporate. And that's not actually going to be out at the same time.
So are you running an outside server, or are you just serving your own home network?
Just serving my home network.
Then you could just get the regular consumer edition.
So there's very little difference in the functionality. I mean, there's a few extra programs you get. Save the money. Because the upgrade, by the way, is $219. That's just a professional. Server's going to be a lot more expensive.
But he can do the 98 to 2K upgrade path.
There is an upgrade. This I do not.
Now Patrick said.
I do not recommend it. This is something new. And traditionally, if you were going to install NT on a system, you would create a new partition and install it fresh. Actually, the installation would do that for you.
It's FAT32 to NTFS. You know, you have to change your file system.
Yeah, that's one reason. And also, it just really there was no way for importing the old Windows 98 registry and everything. They have made it possible now in Windows 2000 to install on top of. In fact, that's the default, to install on top of an existing Windows installation. I strongly recommend against that. We recommend against that anytime you're going to upgrade an operating system. You know, even a point upgrade of going to 95 to 98 or of going to Mac OS 8 to OS 9, we usually say do a clean install.
Let's do it clean.
But when you're making a big change, Windows NT is Windows only in name. There is no relationship between Windows 98 and Windows 2000. They are completely different as Linux and Windows 98 is, as different as BOS is from Linux. They have a different kernel, they have different file system, they have different ways of doing things. They can run the same software in most cases, and that's it. They have the same API.
So you recommend a partition that you keep your Windows 98 on so you know your data's there, that your machine's still working, then put the Win2K on the second half of the machine.
Give it its own partition. Exactly. Okay. The other advantage of that is there are still many programs that won't run with Windows 2000 that you're going to want Windows 98. Games, for instance, many games, especially older games, won't run with Windows 2000. You know, there's little things here and there. There's a lot of internet things. Voquette, for instance, I can't get it to run under Windows 2000, so I have to use Windows 98 for that. That's going to change as Windows 2000 comes out and more people upgrade their software. But for now, you certainly want both. So I would partition and install Windows 2000. But yes, I would use, for your server, I would absolutely use Windows 2000. I would use Professional.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for the call, Jonathan.
All right. Now, Jonathan, since we've done you such, we've saved you some money.
Since we've talked to him?
You are the most, zen caller. He can hold the phone like this. Okay, we're going to try and hold really still, just like you. Okay, Jonathan, will you please take us to break?
Sure.
Okay.
Go for it. Hey, Leo. Okay. Computers in every room in the house. Ooh, can't wait. More about home networking when Screensavers continue.
I've got to scratch my nose.
This could be a slideshow.
Yeah.
This is
I
great.
really want to scratch my nose.
All this bandwidth for nothing.
Yeah.
The Screensavers.com. That's the best place for more information about what's on this show. How much do you know about the computer display you are staring at while you're computing? Find out by taking this week's Super Geek Challenge. It's all about displays, public displays of affection, and more at the Screensavers.com.
See, that's what I always thought PDA meant. We're talking about palms and referring to the PDAs. I'm like, I thought PDA was like kissing your boyfriend in public. Congratulations to Wayne from Glendale, California, winner of yesterday's Super Geek Quiz T-shirt or Fine Chapeau giveaway.
Be sure to fill out the form after you've taken the quiz for your chance to win, my friends.
Yes, that's right. These are fine quality items. Hence, I throw them off the set.
They're so well
promised.
made, they don't break when you throw them.
That's right. Here's Jim Louderback to show us the latest products for the home networking market on today's Fresh Gear.
Computers are fitting in all over the house. The kitchen isn't even safe anymore. CMI's Icebox is a television that includes up to 5 email accounts, web browsing, and customized services like shopping, health tips, and recipes. It also includes a CD-ROM or a DVD player. When it ships this spring, the Icebox will come in 2 versions. One is for kitchen designers and contractors, and it actually fits under the cupboard. It even includes a flip-down LCD screen. It'll cost around $2,000. The other model looks like a small television and will cost only $500. Both models include a kitchen-proof wireless keyboard and remote. While PCs are ending up in other places besides the home office, finding a way to connect them together is still a problem.
Networking your house down the road is going to be very important. Why? Well, we're going to get all of our bits from one vendor. Telephone, video, music, data bits, voice bits. They'll all come into the house via, maybe it's DSL, maybe it's cable, maybe it's somebody else. They'll all come into one place, and then you're going to have to move those bits to different places.
2Wire announced the Home Portal 1000. It's an all-in-one residential gateway that works with either a DSL connection or a cable modem, and it provides broadband internet access, networking, telephony, even firewall protection.
So it'll route your telephone bits up to 12 to 15 extensions everywhere around your house. It'll take your data bits for your computer and send them to different computers around your house, whether they're connected wirelessly, via Ethernet wire that you've run, or via the home networking that you can run over your phone line.
This all-in-one box will cost between $200 and $500, and it will be available in the spring.
This is just the beginning of making home networking easy. And one other thing I like about this box a lot is on the back, it's got USB, so you can actually plug a printer or a hard drive or a scanner in here, and then all of your computers around your house can access it.
And one of the most advanced residential gateways we saw was a prototype from Pioneer. DNE, or Digital Networked Entertainment, is a home network that's connected by IEEE 1394, which is also known as FireWire. At the heart of DNE is a server called K3.
I'm K3. Please call me K.
It has a 27-gig hard drive and uses a touchpad and voice recognition to control all your entertainment and information devices. 1394 components, like CD and DVD players, attach to the server and can talk to each other. It's way Jetsons, very cool, but it's going to be years before you can buy it.
Man, I want one of those flip-down monitors for my kitchen.
Very Martha Stewart.
That would be... Yes.
Yes.
Make sure that you fold down, that you don't have your hands submerged in ice water before you lower the monitor attached to the top. Because you can electrocute yourself.
You know she'll be doing that.
Cold. You can catch new Fresh Gear every Friday afternoon at 1:30, 12:30 Central right here on ZDTV.
Refrigerator savers or something. Here's an email from Brian. He says, how do hackers hack? All I get when I read about hacking is how to protect or prevent mischief. I want to know why I should protect in a certain way. I want to know the enemy, if you will, the hacker modus operandi when the screensavers continue. Great email from Brian, who's studying right now criminology. I guess he wants to be in law enforcement. He wants to know, and this is a great question actually, how do hackers hack? All you get when you read about hacking is how to protect against mischief, but he wants to know what is it they do, and of course, if you know what they do, then you know how to protect yourself. So there's no one way that hackers hack. And I think it's really important at this point to talk about, and we've been talking about it all night, the difference between hackers and crackers.
Yes.
Now, we always use the word hackers kind of interchangeably, and that's really not strictly accurate because anybody who messes around with a computer is a hacker in the sense that they're hacking in the old days was somebody who was interested in how the computer worked and wanted to take it beyond its limits.
Right. Have you seen War Games?
hackers.
He was just playing. He wasn't actually trying to send them to Bermuda, stuff like that.
There are malicious hackers out there. Not as many as one might think. I think it's actually a small minority, but there are, in theory, I guess, people who are going into banks and trying to rob banks, people who go and get credit card numbers and then use them. There's certainly, I think there are fewer hackers in computers. I think there are many more hackers, for instance, who steal cell phone phone numbers. There's a lot of cell phone hijacking that goes on, that kind of thing.
But those people, do you think they actually disgrace the word hacker? Because I think of a hacker exactly as that, as a thinker, an adventurous, but someone who's not out for personal gain.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are.
Crackers, I think, damage the term hacker.
One of our Geek Library recommendations was a great book by Stephen Levy called Hackers, about the original MIT hackers. Those guys were not malicious in any way. In fact, they were absolutely altruistic. I mean, their goal was to change the world. In fact, in those days, and we have a site here that a guy did a paper, I think it was a great paper at the University of Florida, I guess, on hackers, and he did a search of texts on hackers. We're going to give you the link on the webpage, but he quotes Stephen Levy's book and talks about what the old hackers did, and really what their most important thing was. Information ought to be free.
There's the original hacker ethic.
Yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see some of the points of the original hacker ethic.
Let's see. Here we go. Information should be free.
Information wants to be free.
Let's move now.
That's very important. Keep going. You'll see mistrust authority. Okay, that doesn't mean they're malicious. It means they mistrust. No bogus criteria. It doesn't matter what age, what sex, what schooling you have. You can be a hacker just by virtue of the fact that you can do something with a computer. And these are the most important. You can create truth and beauty on a computer.
I love that.
And computers can change your life for the better. Now, that was the original hacker ethic.
That was the point. Now what are they?
Well, they're still the same, and there's a few more things. In fact, this is what I would add to the new hacker ethic. Above all else, do no harm. And we're going to give you the hacker pledge in a little bit. But I think that this is very, very important. Now, there are people out there who are doing harm with computers. And you and I agree. I think most people agree that's a bad thing.
Of course.
Because it means it casts aspersions on hackers. And, in fact, it's bad for all of us using computers. So we've got a new hacker pledge. We want, if you're going to hack, and it's important to hack. This is how the world stretches its knowledge. If you're a teenage person, you're going to be hacking. You're going to be trying to get into stuff. That's normal. That's okay.
Sure.
So put down the ho-hos. Get off the couch. We're going to give you the hacker pledge. We need a Bible.
Okay,
we need a Bible.
Stephanie, can you bring us a... Can you bring us that?
This
Thank
perfect.
you very much.
The BOS Bible.
Close enough.
Put your right hand on the Bible here and recite along with us as we give you the new hacker pledge as Kate and Leo have rewritten it.
All right.
First, I pledge to do no harm to people, property, or data.
All right.
Respect others is very important. We will respect and, very important, protect the privacy of others. Today's hackers are out there making sure privacy is protected and respected. And finally, and most importantly, we will contribute to the community by sharing the technical knowledge we gain, not the knowledge of other people's personal habits, the technical knowledge we gain by hacking. I state your name here.
I, your name here.
Do so pledge.
Do so pledge.
That, you know what? If people took that ethic and they took it out in their world, they went and you know what? You might try to break into computers. You might browse around on the phone network. You might start looking at stuff. That's how you learn. But don't do it to do damage, to invade people's privacies, to waste resources. Do it for the knowledge, the sake of knowledge. That's what it's all about.
A lot of the times, a lot of kids doing hacking and so forth will pull, say, an entire ISP's pool of passwords just for bragging rights. That's fine, but don't print them out. Don't memorize them. Don't use them. Don't do anything.
Let's answer the question, because he wants to know about hackers.
Okay.
There are, in my estimation, there's three kinds of hackers. There are the real hackers, crackers, who know what they're doing, can break into any system. There are very few of these, maybe 100 in the whole world. There's a second tier of hackers who are smart, who are good, but who do not know the elite knowledge. They kind of play around with it. And there's a third tier of hackers I call lamers. These are people, mostly teenage kids, who know nothing about hacking, but know enough to go to the hacker sites like this and to get hacker tools that they can download and use. Now, this is a serious site that I highly recommend if you want to read about hackers. Lofts.com. These are in the first category of hackers. These are people who really know what they're talking about. And there is a lot of information here about security, about preserving privacy. These are hackers on the good side. And I highly recommend Loft's website. The hacker homepage, it might be kind of the middle class to the layman primer class. There's a lot of stuff on here on phreaking, which is phone hacking, cracking, and other kinds of hacking. And this is attrition.org, which is one of my favorite sites for just all sorts of information about crypto security, hacks that have happened, and so forth. This is a hacker tourist site. I am a hacker tourist site. It's attrition.org, and that's if you want to know what hackers are up to. Basically, there are as many different ways of hacking, as many different hacker ethics as there are hackers out there. We hope that you would be ethical hackers, but there to answer your question are some of the places you can go. You know what? If you type in on the web wares, which is pirated software, W-A-R-E-Z, or hacker, you will find millions of sites, lots of information.
Go to those sites, by the way. A lot of them are bad. They will cite nap you to porn sites.
There's a lot of adult content on there.
Yuck.
So if you're younger, I don't suggest you doing that. All right. I hope that answers your question. I mean, it really doesn't, except to say that there's a variety of hacking. Not all hacking is bad. Most hackers, 99% of hackers out there, are harmless because they're inept. Mm-hmm. You really don't have to worry in most cases about hackers, frankly. All right.
Good luck.
Stephen joins us on the ZDTV 3Com Netcam network from Verona, New Jersey. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, Kate and Leo.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was wondering about preparing my system for Windows 2000.
Okay.
I currently have a P3 550 megahertz.
Good.
And I also have a 233 MMX sitting in an old computer in the basement.
Right.
And I wanted to know if I could put them on the dual processor motherboard and how well that would work.
Oh, don't you wish?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Don't you wish? But no, those two processors don't work together. Don't you have to have the identical processor?
They have to be the same family, yeah. So the same processor. So if you're going to do a motherboard with a P3 500, you need another P3 500.
Right.
You can't use your old MMX processor.
Plus, they're going to be electrically different and everything. You don't want to do that.
You wouldn't find a motherboard with a socket 6 or socket 7 and a socket 7 and a slot 1, which is what you have. There's no way you can do that.
That's what you would need.
So no, the answer is no. But on the other hand, your P3 500 is just right for Windows 2000.
With 128 meg RAM. We always told people 64 for Windows 98 at the outside. 128 really makes Win 2K run best.
You got to have that much memory. So maybe that's the preparation you should be doing.
Right.
You'll need a large hard drive as well. I think your P3 500 is plenty. Remember that one of the things that makes NT and Windows 2000, which are the same family, run better on the P6 core, which is what you've got, is it's all 32-bit. And the P6 wants, Intel designed it for 32-bit operating system. 16-bit code chokes the P6 core. So you've got exactly the right processor. I think you're going to be very happy with Windows 2000.
Okay, great.
All right, Stephen?
All right, Stephen.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Folks, I'm not really the type of gal that likes to repeat herself unless it's really important, like audience participation is really important. So I'm going to repeat. Please record and send us an email. Instructions in your scripts, they're all waiting. You know the whole drill. You just click on the interact thing and you find out what to do. Let's just, you know what? Just let Benjamin explain it to you.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Benjamin.
This is Benjamin Skripnik from Bertrand, Michigan. Don't touch that dial. The screensavers will be right back.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Screensavers. Take a peek up there on your screen. The preliminary results of today's poll. So far, 86% of you would absolutely join us. The Hacker Pledge, Hack with Love.
Yeah, baby,
the rest
yeah.
of you, I don't know what your problem is, man. Click on TalkBack and tell me why. Screensavers.com.
I fell off
24 hours to do that. What'd you fall off?
Oh, I'm sorry. See, we're going to do this a little differently. Usually I'll sit on the stair, but Kate wants a better-looking co-host. So I'm just going to go over here and play Unreal Tournament while Lou and Kate answer the email.
All right. So you just stick right here. I have 2 dates. I am a very lucky girl. All right. So what do we got?
Sexiest man on the internet.
Read us an email, Lou. What do you got?
How long does that last, Lou? Does that expire like in a month, or you have to you get a whole year?
Try to re-up my subscription.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool.
Man, that's good stuff.
What do we got?
Where is the free portion software that you spoke
the partition software.
Oh,
that's from Barry, yeah.
Barry Van Heuser.
It's Rainish Partition Manager, R-A-N-I-S-H. If you go to the ZDNet software library and type in partition software. Don't type in Rainish. For some reason it doesn't find it. You'll find it. And it's a $10 shareware. It's a non-destructive partitioner, kind of like Partition Magic.
All right. Here's one from my Windows tip from Monday. It's from Joel. Hi, Joel. I'd like to inform you the tip that says you can press Control-Enter so that you get the www and the .com. Apparently it works for .com, .net, and .org.
Oh, it's gotten smarter.
So I'm glad I was wrong.
Now, does that work in Netscape, Lou, where you press Control-Enter and it will fill in the www and .com, or is that only in Explorer?
It will. If you just put in, you can put in a number of words, or you can put in just one word, and it'll try to find what you're meaning. And if it doesn't, it'll go search out a bunch of
Right.
Okay.
You also have a very nice feature. We didn't show the fish cam, which Lou, by the way, invented the internet fish cam. If you do about fish cam?
About fish cam or Control-Alt-F on Windows Navigator.
Control-Alt-F in Navigator takes you to the amazing fish cam.
You read one.
That's, by the way, a beautiful fish tank. Was it like that when you started it, or was it a little...
It upgraded with Netscape, so it got larger and larger.
It's like huge now.
Now it's like Fishzilla.
I'd like to live there.
It's a 400-gallon tank.
Yeah, it's
All
beautiful.
right.
Hey, that's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Kate Patel. Thanks, Lou.
Thank
Say
you.
bye to the nice people. We'll see you next time on the Screensavers.
Yeah, all right.
How are we going to do this thing?
Wait a minute. Where's the minutes? Where's the giant thing?